What's going on, everybody? This is Whiplash. I will be bringing you a solo English commentary for the Korean Elite League. Now, for those of you who do not know what the Korean Elite League, or KEL for short, is, it's essentially a one-month-long tournament in-house where the best players in Korea compete for a 500 pool. And if you want more information on the league, you can go ahead and check out the description, and I'll have a link for you to the Korean Elite League webpage. And I'd also like to mention that you can buy a ticket in the Dota store if you want to watch some of the matches live as well. So moving into the match here, I just want to point out that think of this as that a lot of these players, they know each other, they've played with each other before, but they're not necessarily playing with their normal rosters like maybe they would in the NSL or the Dota's FOMA League. So it's a little bit more varied, it's more pickup style, but rest assured these are all high-level players from the Korean server. And just looking over a few of the players that are playing on both teams here, the Park, I believe, is on Don't Die Remix. They qualified for the NSL Season 3, unfortunately got knocked out by 5NQ, the runner-ups of the NSL Season 2. We have Andrew from Team MVP. I'm not sure if he's on Phoenix or Hot 6, but he's certainly on MVP. Karn as well, one of the foreigner players, former SC2 Pro. Has been playing a lot on the Korean server and currently lives in Korea. Looking over at the Radiant side of things, the two D-looking letters, those are actually Korean symbols, and I guess a backwards C is, well, actually just normal C is what they look like, but it's a D sound or maybe a bit of a T sound in Korean. But regardless, that is Tenbird, who's part of Bird Gang, one of the Korean teams, former StarTale. And I believe Sky is also a carry for that team as well, or another one if I recall. But there's a lot of pro players playing throughout both of these rosters. Wouldn't even be surprised if they were all pros that have played in various Dota 2 leagues or tournaments. So just go ahead looking at the bans and the picks. For some reason we can't, okay, there we go. This is a little bit of an error with Dota 2, but it looks like Slark and Clockwork are the first two bans from the Dire side. And on the Radiant end, we have Bristleback and Visage. Following that up, Shadow Demon, Outworld Devourer, Lifestealer, and Juggernaut. So, you know, nothing too crazy as far as the bans go, just very common bans so far. If we look at the picks for our Dire side team, there's Alchemist, Invoker, and Venomancer so far. That's really cool. Invoker is a hero that likes to be kind of shown off on the Korean leagues occasionally, every now and then. And I do love to see him in a lot of pro play. Alchemist generally played more as a support nowadays, but we have seen him in the carry role, and even occasionally he'll head towards the mid lane. Venomancer, of course, one of the more powerful heroes, support heroes in the current metagame, so easy pickup for the Dire side team. And looking over towards the Radiant end, we have the Mirana, Timbersaw, Nyx Assassin, and Crystal Maiden being picked up. So far, Mirana being very powerful after Speed Gaming showed off her strength at MLG. It's no surprise that she's gotten a ridiculous amount of play. Her ultimate Moonlight Shadow, which makes everyone invisible, is just really, really good for initiation, and you know, even can help you get out of scary or hairy situations at times. Timbersaw, I think a lot of people would consider him the best offlaner at this point, and if you want to be unconventional, you can even put him mid, and if you offensive tri-lane, he's great in the safe lane as well. Looking at these other two heroes, Nyx Assassin and Crystal Maiden, they're probably going to go with Mirana. They could certainly do a tri-lane. That's generally what Mirana is known for, and Crystal Maiden can certainly help out in the tri-lane with her freezing and slowing abilities. Nyx Assassin could also end up mid lane if they desire, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw from the Radiant side, maybe they wanted to get someone with a little bit more carry potential mid, maybe someone like a Storm Spirit, a Dragonite, which is the last pick. Great choice. I think that's going to round off their team quite nicely. And it's going to come down to the last pick for the Dire side. And I guess that Storm Spirit ban out is why we didn't see him, potentially. The last two picks, Elder Titan and Solar, so that's going to be interesting. Maybe we could see the Elder Titan in the off lane. Saldar, they could even farm in the safe lane. Maybe they're going to the duo lane it up. But we're going to have to wait and see how they decide to play this out. These guys certainly taking their time to pick their last few heroes. So let's go ahead and speed this up a bit.
5 seconds remaining.
There we go. Okay. And I'll just put it on the default announcer. Go ahead and wait for this game to get unpaused. Alright, we are good to go. So I'll go ahead and introduce the players on the Radiant side. We have Relaxier doing fine as the Dragonite. Looks like he's going to be heading towards the mid lane. Sky as the Mirana. We have Ranto as the Nyx Assassin. 4885 on the Crystal Maiden. And we have Tenbird, or I guess you could technically call him CC, or even DD, as the Timbersaw, playing in the safe lane as the solo. Moving over to the Dire side of the map, we have the Puck as the Alchemist, one of the support players for, I believe, Don't Die Remix. MP as the Invoker, looks like he's going to be taking up the mid lane. Karn is going to be playing as the Saldar, so that's pretty cool to see. We will most likely see him as in the carry role this game, which is cool since we don't see Saldar get picked up for this position too often. Maybe, you know, he's getting a little bit more play nowadays along with Dazzle, and that combination of the Amplify damage and the Dazzle's ultimate ability just can reduce armor like crazy. Not seeing that combo, of course, this game, but just something to note. And then people call me the Big Poor on the Venomancer. And finally, Andrew from MVP as the Elder Titan. He's going to be taking up the off lane. So as the game starts off, Crystal Maiden is going to go ahead and grab that invisibility rune. Looks like the Dire side want to make sure they have good ward control in the top lane. And, excuse me, there's the Radiant wards, not the Dire wards. So it's going to be a duo lane versus a tri-lane, potentially. Well, the Nyx Assassin, he's heading back top, so maybe he was just looking for a potential early kill on the Invoker, which of course did not happen. And we can also see that the Dire, they really want to make sure they have good ward control since they're doing more of a safe lane try. And this is something you have to be aware of when you see the Priestess of the Moon come out, especially with heroes like the Crystal Maiden or the Nyx Assassin. There's a high chance that you're going to be seeing a tri-lane. So you have to be prepared for that, and let's see if the Dire can kind of deal with the situation. Venomancer and Alchemist are great supports. It's just the Saldar pick is the thing, I guess, to be worried about a little bit more than anything else. Early game, I suppose you can do a little bit of damage with him, but if he's going to be kind of more in the carry role, then if he doesn't get a lot of farm, he's not going to be too useful. Whereas, you know, the Mirana, the Crystal Maiden, Nyx all have a great amount of utility, pretty much regardless, as long as they get some levels. Ooh, Alchemist charging up. His Unstable Concoction going to be shooting it onto the Crystal Maiden. And Saldar looks like he moved a little bit to dodge the arrow, gets the stun on the Crystal Maiden, slow, as a follow-up bite! Oh! Almost a first blood on the Crystal Maiden. This poison will not finish her off. If the Sunstrike from the Invoker did not hit both the Priestess of the Moon and the Crystal Maiden, I believe we would have seen a first blood. So if you go ahead and look in the off lane, of course, Tenbird on the Timbersaw doing work, already up to 14 last hits. And Elder Titan, he can harass a little bit with his Astral Spirit ability, but beyond that, there's not much he can do in this lane. He'll get an occasional off hit or two, but it's really hard to contest a Timbersaw in the off lane, and that's why we see him get first pick, first banned so often nowadays. The aggression continues in the top lane. A little bit of acid spray. This is going to be pushing the lane a bit, I think, too much towards this tower, though, for the Dire's liking. And they're just going to continue to make sure Karn can get some good farm. He's only at 8 last hits, though, compared to the 17 of Mirana, which is actually a really good amount so far in the game. So that's definitely something to be aware of. So far, Karn not getting the same amount of farm that Sky is. And they're both kind of playing that safe lane role. And looks like I missed it, but the Timbersaw managed to get the first blood in the bot lane. And even being a little bit bad manner, just throwing out the question mark towards the end. Andrew definitely not happy about how the Timbersaw is doing in that off lane. As far as the DK and Invoker go, relatively even. Last hits and denies, you know, pretty much even across the board. A little bit of an advantage for the Invoker.
That is ours.
Top lane looks like it's going to be going the way of the Radiant for the time being. Unless they can get a good pick off, I don't really see Karn getting too much farm in this situation. You know, it's 4 minutes in the game. He's only got 8 last hits. And what is this? Timbersaw once again getting another kill. He's just doing this way too fast for me. I can't even keep track. And Andrew's, you know, same crap as last time. Really unhappy with that situation. Looks like Timbersaw just burning up his mana, and just things are going crazy all over. Sorry I keep missing these last hits, but Nyx Assassin does manage to get a kill. And now the Elo Titan rotated to the top. Death on the Venomancer. Nyx Assassin running away. It's only going to take another hit, and he falls. Andrew, can he escape? He's pretty tanky. Does manage to survive. He's got to get back, though. This is, Tried to go for the arrow. Didn't manage to get it, though. I will currently score 4-2 in the Radiant's favor. Karn has not managed to get much kills, or last hits, for the time being. And you can tell that they're kind of desperate to make something happen, because they have up to 4 people in this lane. I guess Elder Titan, he's going to go ahead and move back for the time being. Mid lane looking quite uneventful. Both heroes have good forms of regeneration, the Quas, and of course the Dragon Blood. Well, actually, this is getting a little bit aggressive. Dragonite, 1 or 2 more hits. He does get the Invoker. Now that the Flame Strike in the mid lane was just kind of weird. It was way off point. In the top lane, Sol are getting extremely low on health. He's going to have to go ahead and regen up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Andrew returning to the bottom lane, but that's already a 3-level difference between these two. He has to basically hug the tower and then some. This is really good for the Radiant. They've essentially won all of their lanes so far. The laning phase isn't over yet, but we are starting to approach the end of it. We're going to see more roaming, I'm assuming, soon from a lot of these heroes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Karn's got to back up. Ooh, if the stun gets on him, I think he could end up dying. He's doing his best to juke, and can he actually escape? No! Salder ends up falling. Crystal Maiden low on health as well. Nice stun from the Nyx. Mana burn as well. Alchemist wound up falling. This is looking really bad already for the Dire. Lost their carry, lost a support. Sky is now 3-0. 37 last hits, 7 minutes into the game. Nyx even has a kill to his name. Crystal Maiden with a few assists, only 1 death. And this is really going to set the tempo and the pace for the mid game. Invoker, really low on health. He's fishing for the Sunstrikes. He's not going to get them, though. A little bit of bottle crowing action from the Dragon Knight. Just going to send that home, refill the bottle, send it back. For 885. Looking to get aggressive. If he gets the Frostbite on the Saldar, there is a chance of an arrow follow-up from the Marana. Could secure themselves another kill. And I guess Venomancer, desperate for a little bit of farm, is going to go ahead, set up some Plague Works, and just kill off a few of the creeps. And in the mid lane, looks like the DK and Invoker exchanged blows. Both of them ended up dying. All the Titans grab the double damage rune, but even with that, I don't think you can pick off the Timber Saw. Andrew does not like Timbered. He's just... I guess he's tilted or something from early game where he just got destroyed in lane. Yeah, even the last hits, the Timber Saw is beating out everybody. Alright, he's moving forward, getting pretty aggressive against the Elder Titan. Yeah, just the single hit damage with the DD is really good, but it's not enough. Invoker moves in. He missed the Sunstrike, but he'll manage to pick off the Timber Saw. Alright, Karn is rejoined by his allies in the top lane. But still just hurting incredibly on the last hits. 50 for Sky compared to the 22 for Karn. Seems like Saldar hasn't been entirely too effective in this laning phase. Well, Andrew is joining once again. And Unstable Concoction on the Alchemist. Can he get someone before he stuns himself? 0.5 seconds. A nice acid spray and follow-up from the Elder Titans. Going to secure a kill. Nyx Assassin doing good, but Timber Saw moving in, gets the kill on Karn and Phoenix. Andrew from MVP, it looks like he could be next. Nice triple stun from the Alchemist. Doesn't get any kills. And Timber Saw moving in once again. Misses the hook. I don't think he can dive this hard on the Venomancer. Even with the amount of farm and items he has and levels, it would be very risky. So the Alchemist is moving back for now. You may just go ahead and decide to heal up. And look at how broke Saldar is. He can't even buy a TP to move back in the lane. He's just forced to kind of sprint his way back in the lane. Alright, here we go. Triple man. Dive on the tower. Actually, quad dive. That's a very easy death on the Venomancer. These Karns managed to get his level 6. Amplify damage. Getting rid of the armor. Giving some vision. This tower, about a third of the health left to its name. In the mid lane, it's like Invoker managed to pick off the Dragon Knight once again. Andrew helping out slightly. So I guess, you know what? The Dragon Knight, he was doing good at first. Invoker, though, is doing a little bit better now. And he even has Hand of Midas to his name.
You have no right.
I think Karn's had 22 last hits on the Saldar for at least 5 minutes. It's really been unfortunate for him. He's just starved on everything at this point. Well, actually, towards the mid lane, Dragon Knight going to town on the Elder Titan. Invoker, though, with the follow-up. Can they actually pick off the DK? It doesn't look like it, and Nyx Assassin moving in. Yeah, Elder Titan's just stuck between a tree and a hard place. He's going to get picked off. Timber Saw moving in. Can they get the Invoker? He's trying the TP out. There's not enough burst damage to kill him before the TP, though, so nice recovery from the Invoker. He almost died. It wasn't enough. Oh, in the top lane, Mirana's actually out of mana. She wasn't able to jump. It was on cooldown. That's nice. Karn, I'm sure, is going to be really happy with getting that kill on the Mirana. So despite it being extremely one-sided in the early game, it's now 13-8. Things are getting a little bit more even, but Karn gets picked off. Timber Saw bringing the momentum right back onto his team's side. There's a lot of DPS on the Timber Saw, though, between the Venomancer and the Alchemist. CM moving in as well, getting a nice freeze off, doing a little bit of damage. Timber Saw confirming the kill. The advantage that the Dire kind of got there was essentially thrown away. So nice rotating in from Timber Saw and the Crystal Maiden. Nyx Assassin and the DK, they're moving in onto the Invoker. And this is going to most likely be an easy kill. They pick it up. It was just a little bit too aggressive. I think the Dragon Knight could have even killed off the Invoker by himself. Has that haster in. I guess Invoker could have technically kind of ghost walked away. What's this? Karn getting a little bit of farm? I don't know, man. Seems too good to be true. Oh, Timberside diving onto the tower. That Venomancer's toast. It's just food for the Timbersaw. Might as well be a tree. Alchemist gets a nice stun on the Dragon Knight. Bit of a follow-up from the Elder Titan. He's decided not to put any points in his ultimate or Echo Stomp. Just really focusing on maxing out this kind of mini nuke, Astral Spirit, and a Natural Order. Notice how a lot of these players are speaking in English despite them being on the Korean server. And even if they are Korean, a lot of them may have originally come from Canada or America, other parts of the world. So even though they do reside in Korea, they're pretty confident in their English. Maybe even they prefer to speak English over Korean. So that's why we're seeing some English, even though this is the Korean server. Oh, arrow moving out. Nice juke from the Venomancer. That would have almost assuredly been a kill. Looks like DK, he's got a Claymore, probably moving into the Shadow Blade. If we look at overall items, Timbersaw is very close to his Bloodstone. He'll have that in a minute or two. And, well, beyond that, though, actually that could change if he ends up dying. Saldar and Alchemist manage to get the pick off. And this is really cool because the amplified damage and the Alchemist Acid Spray, they both reduce armor, which kind of counters Timbersaw's passive, which gives him armor stacks pretty much every time he's hit. This tier 1 tower getting low on health. They're moving in on the Invoker, Moonlight Shadow. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. The Nyx Assassin falls. Crystal Maiden moving in, doing a little bit of damage. Here comes Sky, gets the kill on the Invoker. Ooh, DK. Another hit or two, he's toast. He will survive, though, and has a bottle to help heal up. Lots of action in the mid lane. DK getting a stun off. Elder Titan's tanky, but he's just on the other side of the map. Puck, though, he's got the stun from the Alchemist. Dragon Knight low on health. Tenbird gonna come to his allies' assistance. Save alive. He'll stay alive for now. And actually, Elder Titan ends up being the one that get picked off. Just dove way too far on the other side. CM's managed to grab her Tranquil Boots. Karn continuing to do a little bit of farm in the mid lane. Bottle, Haste-Rune for the Dragon Knight. And there's the Bloodstone we were talking about on the Timbersaw. And yeah, if you're 8-2, 60 minutes in the game, a Bloodstone, it's going to happen. And this means that he has sustained teamfight ability. He can suicide with the Bloodstone if things get too dicey. And it's the core item for Timbersaw. You pretty much need Bloodstone. Venomancer deciding he wants to play a little bit of tower defense. The amount of play wards he has in the mid lane. Up to level 3. Alchemist has his medallion as well. So the extra armor reduction, that's 5 plus 6. That's a negative 11 armor. Combine that with the ultimate from Karn, which is negative 10. It's negative 21 armor, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, doesn't matter if you're a Timbersaw with the Bloodstone, you are going to die fast if those two armor debuffs stack on you. Well, this top tower is going to pretty much fall. Sky confirming the last hit. Ron is getting some good farm. has the Hand of Midas. Also an Orb as well. And a Ring of Aquila. Looks like he will be building into a Manta style first. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Desolator following that up. Alchemist set in position, Unstable Concoction. He's waiting for the perfect time. Karn moving in with the blink. Tries to get the stun off, but nice juke from the Mirana, but it's just not enough. And that's what I was talking about. That negative armor combination, it's just too much. Timber Song, Crystal Maiden. Could they get the kill? On Elder Titan, he is falling. Falling and out.
I can't see your breath anymore.
Nice stun from the Alchemist. Look at that, the combination of the medallion and just a few seconds is enough to bring the Crystal Maiden down the half health. And Karn, with the nice blink, secures a kill. The Blink Dagger, definitely a wise item for Karn to pick up. It's allowed him to secure 2 kills, despite having a pretty hard early game. Elder Titan finally picks up his power treads. 18 minutes into the game, pretty standard. Surprisingly, not a lot of towers taken out this game so far. The mid tower is almost gone for the Dire, and Radiant has lost their mid. But beyond that, nothing too crazy. DK's picked up a Shadow Blade. And if we look at the EXP, it is favoring the Radiant. Gold's certainly favoring them, but it's not a huge amount.
Dire's bottom tower is
Looks like Mirana and Nyx Assassin once again picked off this Elder Titan. He is 3 and 9. I dare say he is feeding at this point, and Andrew is just unhappy. He is unhappy about the situation. And Alchemist gets the stun off, but gets stunned himself thanks to the spiked carapace ability from the Nyx. Follow-up stun, the arrow just grazing Alchemist. With the Invoker moving in, this could be a pretty dangerous situation. Dire don't want to dive in too far. A lot of easy TPs from this tier 2 tower, which we pretty much saw from the Timber Saw.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And it's building into an Ogre Club. So I wouldn't be surprised if Timber Saw wanted to get a BKB as the follow-up. Which, you know, it wouldn't be really a bad choice, I think, against this opposing team. And Roshan, though, he's going to die extremely fast. Medallion, level 2 amplify damage, and Acid Spray. That's a ridiculous amount of negative armor. And one of the reasons why Roshan was able to actually get killed at this point, despite there being 5 people up and kind of close to the Rosh pit, he just dies so fast. There's little room for error on the Radiant's end. Uh-oh. Tactical pause, potentially from the Nyx Assassin. Andrew, what are you doing again? What are you doing, man? You're just dying again. Blue just kill steals. Well, he's 9 and 3. Alchemist falls. Okay, looks like Lincoln Sphere, not a Manta Style, was built on the Mirana first. Oh, they're getting very aggressive. Nice pick off on the Venomancer. Arrow didn't manage to get anything. I think this could actually be a tier 2 tower that's going to fall. I can't really see Dire defending this in this situation. Timber Saw is moving forward. Gets a little bit of damage on the Invoker. He's pretty tanky though, actually, if you look at the amount of health he has, and he's got a Force Staff at least. Ugh. Wasted fortification on the structure. And now we see... Relax, you're doing fine on the DK, getting a lot of nice farm. He's actually 7 and 2. And with Plate Mail in his inventory, most likely working towards an Assault Cuirass. Definitely a great item on Dragon Knight. Gives him even more survivability, more attack speed. Helps out his team. That extra armor is going to be very useful against the negative armor abilities from the Radiant side as well. Or, excuse me, Dire side. Alright, they're moving forward, but they don't see anyone. Ooh, DK, he's getting greedy. This Shadow Blade's about to end up its duration. Potential conflict, but nothing happens. Alright, Crystal Maiden, Nyx, they're smoked. Vendetta move in from the Nyx. Anyone can get picked off pretty easily here. The Invoker, oh, whiffed on the stun. Nice follow-up though from the Alchemist. Ha! That Crystal Maiden fell extremely fast. Nyx is up next, moving from the Saldar, getting the negative armor on the Timber Saw. That's a negative 15 armor at one point. Very nice. 25 to 16. Radiant's still holding a large advantage. But when it's coming to these team fights, surprisingly, the Dire, they're holding their own. They're doing very good. Alchemist has a headdress to his name, and a Bulker. Guess that means he's going for a mechanism afterwards. Can the Dire actually push towards this tier 2 tower? That's the question. Moonlight Shadow, ultimate from Mirana. TPN. Nice stomp though, hits the Nyx Assassin. Whiff on the stun. Oh wow, Seldar with the blink in, getting a kill on the Nyx. Ultimate though, freezing field on the Crystal Maiden. That's going to force the rest of this Dire team back. At least for the time being. Still though, the overall health of both teams, besides the Nyx, it's pretty even. Oh, yeah, that disable is going to end Timbersaw's reign. Crystal Maiden is fish food at this point. Saldar ends up picking her off. Mirana, though, at least it manages to pop the Aegis in the top, though. Dragonites in the action. Timbersaw's back as well. Elder Titan, I don't think he's going to be able to run away from that. Nice recovery from the Dire side. Excuse me, Radiant. Dire, they were doing good, but then I think they kind of overstayed their welcome a little bit too long. Yeah, if we look at these hero levels, Venomancer is hurting. He's level 9. Compared to level 17, level 16, it's a pretty atrocious difference, to say the least. Okay, well now it looks like Mirana's most likely working into her Manta style. Already has the Lincoln Sphere. Has the Yasha, part of the recipe for the Manta style. Timbersaw has a lot of money. He should be able to get his Black King bar relatively soon. Warpins. Ooh. Ooh, maybe they're trying to pick up the Saldar. I want to note that Saldar seems to be a pretty item-independent hero in this game. Besides the Blink Dagger, he hasn't really had much throughout the entire game. He's managed to get a few kills here and there, and at least be an asset to his team with the amplified damage and a little bit of initiation power. And with the Mithril Hammer, he actually, yeah, he's going to go ahead and get his BKB. That's going to make Saldar quite a hard hero to pick off. DK, though, has the Assault Cuirass. Moonlight Shadow ultimate. I don't think they're going to try to initiate. They're not really in position. They certainly want to, though. I think this Invis Ward is going to spot the Timbersaw. And item-wise, well, the Pox picked up Mechanism. Invoker has his Yules, which is nice. So we're starting to see a few core items come online for the Dire end. Certainly nothing to compare to items like, you know, Bloodstone, Assault Cuirass plus Shadow Blade, and Lincoln Sphere. Oh, 2 Mithril Hammers. You know, I guess it's going Desolator. In the mid lane, though, Carney's activated his BKB. He's trying to do his best to pick off the Timbersaw, and he falls. Ooh. Nice initiation from the Invoker. Completely disables the Dragonite. He gets picked off. I really do like the team composition from the Dire end. It seems that even though they had a really weak early game, their team fight is just so good. The amount of negative armor and stuns and, you know, front end damage they have, it's allowing them to really stay in this game. And Andrew's saying, "Hey dudes, it's just a game," after he rages earlier on. in the match.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The tier 2 tower under attack.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hit with a fortification, whiffed arrow. Mirana. She has her Desolator. I'd like to point that out as well. Nice initiation. The Mirana's fallen low on health. The stun's going to end up hitting her. I don't think there's going to be much of a follow-up, though. Timbersaw moving in, though. He gets the Invoker.
Attack.
DK is going to be back in a few seconds. Moving forward. Moonlight Shadow is going to allow them to get a kill on the Alchemist. Even with that immense regeneration from his ultimate, it's not enough. Uh-oh. Very bad news for the Elder Titan. He is not looking like he will survive. So, once again, it's kind of turning into a back-and-forth game. Nice to see the shitty Wizard Courier. Without a tier 2 tower, and 3 heroes down. I could see the Radiant actually moving in and trying to at least take this tower down. We do have fortification available. Venomancer, though, he can't defend this on his own. The most he can do is put up a ward or two and be annoying.
Dire's structures are
Yeah, they need to buy as much time as possible. They don't really have too many units to deal with this. Sceptered into dead Venomancer. Stun on the Alchemist, hits 2 of them. A nice blink in from the Saldor. He gets the stun. He's doing his best to pick off the Timbersaw, but that's just too much DPS. He has the runaway, almost falling. Alchemist, thanks to his ult, allows him to survive and get back into the fight almost immediately. He's gonna concoction himself, though. And Dragonite, he's got his level 18. Move him back. It just really seems back and forth. Roshan still has a bit of a ways before he comes back, but it's starting to move towards that time. Elder Titan at least has some drums. Probably going to be building into a BKB next. Actually, interesting, we have a smoke on Saldar and Alchemist. They could be looking to kill off the Dragonite. I don't think they actually know if he's there or not, though. Maybe they're hoping. And yeah, this is a almost bad position for the Dragonite. The Observer Ward just barely misses. Moves in, gets a stun on the Nyx Assassin. Randomly. Doesn't make anything happen. Stun in on the Elder Titan. Sending the Nyx in the air. I guess he sent himself in. Potentially. Actually, no, that was the Invoker. Elder Titan falls once again. Initiation from the Invoker, sending out his abilities. They get a kill on the Nyx. Dragonite could be next. Nice stun as well. And Karn just going to work, killing off these people left and right. Timbersaw could be next. Ultimate as well from the Venomancer. Timbersaw falls. Mirana realizing she has to get out of there. Ooh, very close. Very, very close. Avoided those stuns by a second. And the Nyx Assassin unhappy, realizing that these team fights are just starting to go towards the Dire side more and more. He's thinking that the game's over. I think it's still anyone's game. We're certainly seeing the momentum build up for the Dire. If we look at the EXP graph, it's really on the Radiant side still. Same with the Gold. Invoker. Overextension. Easy pick off. I mean, this game's going to go on for a long time if we keep seeing overextensions from the Radiant. Ooh, Timbersaw's also picked up a Blink Dagger in addition to his BKB. Mirana has her Manta Style now. This is one farmed Mirana, I might add. Manta Style, Desolator, Lincoln Sphere. And a Hanamite is to keep her farming extremely fast. Ooh, Nyx. Could he get the kill on the Elder Titan? Okay, with the Timbersaw move in. I'm not sure if this is the best decision. They are going to go ahead and get the Venomancer pretty easily, though. Actually, no, nice! Very clutch mech. Doesn't even matter, though. He ends up falling from the Timber Chain follow-up. Elder Titan smartly moving back home. Alchemist going for Vlad's next. That's going to help out Karn in these team fights. Give him a little bit of life regeneration. And if the game continues, we'll eventually see the Alchemist kind of move towards a less support-oriented role, maybe even to more of a carry. It's still going to be a long time before that happens, but it's definitely possible. And with Roshan under fire from the DK, I don't know if they have the DPS for this. This could actually be a crucial mistake for the Radiant. Now, the Park forced the go-ahead and ultimate off. Stun on the Seldar. A little bit of a mana burn. Nyx Assassin's under attack, though. Looks like Roshan's been abandoned for the time being. Can they get the Nyx Assassin? No, unfortunately not. The stuns just keep going off and off. But he gets surrounded, and that's going to be a pick-off. Timbersaw moving in, doing a ridiculous amount of damage to the Radiant, to the Dire side. Ultimate from the Elder Titan helps pick off the Dragonite. And now we're seeing a Timbersaw running away in fear. He's being chased, though. The stun happens. Oh! Cancels the stun at the last second so we can get it off here. That was a 4-for-1. That's pretty sick. And actually, Crystal Maiden could have ended up dying earlier in that fight. A lot was going on. So she wasn't even around. I don't think she died, but yeah, it looks like she TP'd home. Well, Roshan. Lots of negative armor to easily take care of him. Total of -5 armor. Karn's going to pick up the Aegis, and he's extremely close to his Assault Cuirass. Should be able to pick that up pretty much whenever he wants. Going to help balance out the Assault Cuirass from the Dragonite and give his team even more negative armor reduction, which is just going to be ridiculous. So this is a pretty big turn of events. Despite a seemingly solid lineup from the Radiant end, despite them doing extremely good early on, I mean, Dire's just coming back. When it comes to the team fight and picking off heroes, they have the DPS. They certainly have the DPS. And Alchemist has even decided to pick up a Gem of True Sight, which will do a great job at counteracting the Mirana's Moonlight Shadow, which is always something to be concerned of. Alchemist also has a Smoke. Potentially wait for a good time to use that. And it's kind of gotten to the start of the game where it's a lot of team fighting. Karn, moves in, gets his ultimate, nice stun on the Dragonite. I don't think it'll be enough though. He's continuing. Actually, oh, it's so close. Can he get it? He's getting extremely low on health. That Aegis is going to pop. The rest of the team on both ends kind of fighting in other areas. Once again, he's frozen. Actually, Salder's gonna potentially die. One more hit, and oh my gosh, he manages to survive. That is insane. I think that, I dare say, is just a little bit of luck on his end. Stun hits the Crystal Maiden and Mirana. Another stun from the Seldar. He moves in, and then a finish off from the Elder Titan. Seldar deciding to come back, healing himself up a little bit with an urn. Gets a stun. Is it enough? Yes, it is! Timbersaw falling once again. And a double Cyclone on the Nyx Assassin. He'll do his best to escape, but against this, you can't repel firepower of this magnitude. I'll tell you that. Well, this is the second big team fight to really go towards the way of the Dire. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to move in and push one of these towers. The mid tower is almost in deny range. Not yet, but very close. So if they wanted to move in fast enough, maybe they could get that. Let's not forget, though, towards the rest of this map, we still have 2 Tier 1 towers at 36 minutes in the game left for the Radiant side. So think about that. That's the lead that the Radiant had. Look at this. The gold graph and experience. Oh, the gold graph is still pretty far in the Radiant's favor, but EXP is actually almost even. little bit of trash talking between the teams as well. Ooh. Move in from Saldar, activates the BKB after the stun. This DK. There's nothing he could do there. I wonder if that's a BM pause. I think it is. This Elder Titan. What is he doing, man? Well, potential initiation from the Elder Titan. Missed arrow. Oh, actually, this guy gets seen. Don't forget, there is a gem available for the Dire. Move in for the stun. Ooh. Gets the Yules off. There's random pauses. I assure you, no one's going AFK. This is all... They're trying to BM the heck out of each other. The initiation is extremely good for the Dire side. They've almost evened up the kill count. It's 36 to 38. They're going to finally get another tier 1 tower. I think they could actually get a second one behind this. They have a lot of momentum. They can keep pushing. Sky, he's in the top lane and has a TP, so he can kind of move back and defend if he needs to. I don't know what Timbersaw's up to. He could be looking for a solo pickoff, but he's not in the right place if he wants to do that. And with all of the Radiant out of position, they can't defend this tower. Even with the defend, it wouldn't matter. It fell extremely fast. Some insane DPS coming from the Dire side. Venomancer has been forced to kind of TP back, though. Remember, this tower was taken out earlier.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, DK, they're looking to initiate on the Alchemist. Yeah, with the follow-up stun, he's going to die pretty easily. That was actually a nice pick-off by the Radiant. That's kind of what they have to do if they want to survive. The pick-off's a little bit of ward clearing, thanks to the Gem of True Sight on Karn. Yeah, Moonlight Shadow ultimate. I don't really see what they're going to do with this. Ooh. Nice TP by the Crystal Maiden. She could have died really fast. Alright, well, Mirana's actually doing a really good job using her illusions to kind of deal with the tower. Even though there are illusions, the Desolator passive proc still hits enemy units and towers. Oh, Mirana has a lot of gold. The 4,500. Maybe a butterfly is the next item on her list.
Illusion.
Well, she at least has some buyback money. And Dragon Knight, getting Lincoln Sphere. Could be building into Chrysalis next, get some crit, extra DPS online. Haven's Halberd, interestingly, on the Venomancer. Kind of, I think that'll be really good against the Dragon Knight, and even the Mirana. Ooh. Karn's moving in on the Timbersaw. He gets stunned though, Force-staffed away. Nice tornado from the Invoker. Delays a little bit. Enough time. Ooh. Nice QWE. This Timbersaw still hella tanky. Karn! He's so low on health. Can he actually die though? Second extremely lucky survival for him. The Timbersaw won't be so lucky though. He falls. The Alchemist, a lot of stunts on him, but I mean he's got the insane regeneration. Now they're gonna move in on the Dragon Knight. Ultimate from the Crystal Maiden, doing a good amount of damage. I don't even think it's gonna matter though. They ate it all up. Invoker's the only one to die. Alchemist, he'll end up falling as well. Elder Titan gets his stun off. CM falls. Mirana really low on health. She can't jump away. Nice DK from the Venomancer. Karn's gonna go ahead and pick up his gem. Looks like he decided to buy back. And in this situation, that's another team fight. It was a little bit more even, but definitely went the way of the Dire. Trying to see if they can get the Dragon Knight. He decided to buy back too. A little bit of juking. Stun. He doesn't have a TP though. And He's stuck in between two heroes and some trees. And Karn with lots of bashing and DPS. That's gonna be it. And he can't buy back, he's out for 100 seconds. There's a buyback for the CM and the Mirana. Other than that, though, not looking too terribly good. This could actually end up being a Rax. But there are two Dire members down. And with the Timbersaw able to defend, I guess Dire's side's more comfortable pushing in the other lanes. Roshan will be back in about a minute. So wouldn't be surprised to see them prioritize the Roshan. And Karn's gonna go ahead and move in there. Potentially check. He's not back though, man. Sorry. Ooh, Nyx Assassin has to be careful. There's a gem on the Saldar. If he gets whiff of the Nyx Assassin, he'll be able to easily initiate, stun him, kill him. And the Invoker's got his Scythe of Vice now, his Sheep Stick. That's going to be really nice. Very useful for the team fights. Alright, well, Miranda decided to sell off her... Okay, I guess she didn't sell off the Hannah Miles, but has the BKB now. Oh, the Invoker. Who moved in, wanted to try to get some type of disable on the Mirana. Okay, this is a potential tier 1 tower to fall, unless the Radiant wants to defend.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nyx is way out of position. This teamfight may actually be over before he gets there. He's going to have to hurry up. Lots of delay, lots of delay. Fortification on the tower. Stomp hits Mirana. Moving in with the Elder Titan ultimate. Doesn't hit anyone though, unfortunately. Nyx is waiting. He is waiting to pick off somebody. That's a 4v5. Essentially, Timbersaw getting sheeped. Karn moves in, gets a few stuns off. BKB enabled by the Mirana. She's able to DPS unhindered. They're trying to pick apart the Alchemist. They get him. 2 for 1 so far, favoring the Radiant. Oh, Karn, can he get the Mirana with the help of Invoker? Ah, they managed to get her. Karn running away with about 100 health. And I think the 3rd time this game. Ooh, the Nyx could potentially get a good pick off. I don't think he really accomplished much during that last fight, though. Very nice. Pick off from the Invoker on the Timbersaw who tried to run away. Now he's going to continue. I think they know about this Nyx Assassin. Ooh. Gets hit, but whiff on the stun. Now Invoker's going to be able to potentially deal with this Nyx Assassin, but nope. Dragon Knight saves the day. Karn saying, oh, I thought I was going to die. I think he should be saying that pretty much every single team fight, because that's what almost happens. He almost dies. Well, Dire are heading in the EXP graph. Radiant still have a bit of a gold advantage, though. Let's not forget the amount of towers that have been taken out. I think the towers are one of the bigger differences as far as the gold goes. And, ooh, this could be really bad. They know. Karn moves in. He gets the stun off. BKB enabled. Does they have the DPS to deal with them? Nice ultimate from Elder Titan. I guess okay for the situation. Ooh, Karn getting low on health once again. Stun will manage to pick off the Nyx. The DK is next, and that's going to be Roshan for the Dire. With an Aegis to their name, a DK dead, and a Nyx Assassin dead. I don't know. It's starting to look worse and worse as time goes on for the Radiant. They had an amazing early game. Amazing. They were doing everything right. Karn got no farm in the top lane. He's managed to find some later on. He had a lot of good kills and pickoffs. With Blink Dagger, I think, being one of the bigger differences. That plus that BKB really helping out. And he's going to move into a Heart next, which is going to give him even more survivability in these team fights. Allow him to stick around a little bit longer. Even Venomancer has Boots of Travel. Well, Titan's got the cheese too. It's got the cheese. The Park. He's got the gym now as well, I'd like to mention. That's because Saldar has the Aegis. That item slot probably best on the next tankiest hero, which is most likely Alchemist in this situation. Maybe Elder Titan occasionally, but it doesn't really have any item slots either. Boker's got his BKB. Mirana still hasn't really changed much item-wise over the course of the game. With 4k gold in her coffers, she can easily buy back. I wouldn't be surprised if the last item was a butterfly, and then those phase boots were traded out potentially for boots of travel. Maybe even Monkey King Bar. A butterfly seems like the most obvious in this situation. Both teams, they want to try to get the jump on their opponents, from the look of things. If they can get the jump, I think that's pretty much the best that the Radiant can ask for. Almost all of their teams here. DK is not in the vicinity, however. He's kind of working into a Chrysalis. Okay, here we go. Initiation. Karn's getting low on health once again. I think he may actually end up falling this time. The Aegis is popped. Ultimate from the Crystal Maiden. Doesn't really hit too much, though. And Saldar decides to activate his BKB following this up. Invoker doing a good amount of damage to pick off the Nyx Assassin. Crystal Maiden is going to be next. And we see a Timbersaw running away in fear. DK wasn't even able to really do too much in that fight. Mirana, of course, wanted to run away as well. I think it's going to come down to defending the tier 3 towers and the racks for the Radiant. Oh, hold on a second. Alchemist, he's moving forward, has the stun prepared. Hits the Dragonite. And Timbersaw moves in as well, gets a little bit of burst damage in, but he's going to pay, potentially with his life. Rana moves in. Oh, nice stun, though. From a passive stun from the Saldar, it's going to allow him to eventually pick off the Timbersaw. He's happy about that. These illusions are annoying, but at the end of the day, they are just simply illusions. That is a 3-for-1 pick-off. Dire now leading in kills, 51-46. I think that we're going to actually see the push for the racks at this point. The momentum, the advantage that the Dire have is pretty enormous at this point. I want to see if the gold graph's evened up. About a 7,500 difference in gold. And that doesn't even matter at this point because the team fighting capabilities are much better for Team Dire. Karn's managed to pick up a heart as well. Moving in, trying to get the stun. Nice jump from the Mirana. I guess she got force-staffed as well. But at the end of the day, all they can do is run away. They can't actually fight in these situations. Sheep on the Nyx Assassin. Spiked Carapace, buying him a little bit more time, but it's not enough. Even Cyclones himself to safety. Very nice. Sky's getting a little bit low on health. The first Rax falls. All of Dire is alive. Buy back lots of low health heroes. That would have been an amazing Sunstrike, should it happened.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's doing their best to defend this tower, but that is not a fight they want to be engaging.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Stun doesn't really hit too much, if anything. Okay, well they do get the Venomancer at least. That was nice. And they get the Alchemist. Okay. This also means they're going to grab a gem, which is going to be very nice. The last item for Mirana is going to be a crit. Buyback from the Venomancer. A little bit of delays installing just from the Invoker. They want to wait for the Alchemist. He doesn't have a buyback from the look of things. Talisman of Invasion. Looks like he wants to build into Haven Celebrate as well. That's going to actually give their team 2 of them. Really going to disable any DPS possible from Team Radiant. Roshan's still a bit of a ways away. Ooh. Nice initiation. I don't know if it's going to really do anything, though. Tower defense once again being played by the Venomancer. Won't really amount to too much. Karn's pretty rich. He has up to 4k gold. He already has a lot of his core items. I suppose a little bit more DPS at this point could be nice. But beyond that, there's not too much he needs. I'm sure he's pretty happy at this time with what he has. Prisman looking for wards, not seeing anything. Ooh, interesting. Elder Titan actually picks up an Ethereal Blade. So that could be pretty cool. And he also has a Blink Dagger to the boot. Looks like an Invoker has topped the kill list. 19 kills, 17 assists. It's pretty impressive. Ooh. Andrew, I think he's going to pay for this with his life. He tried to do a little bit of initiation, follow up from the Invoker, and now we're seeing the Radiant move forward. It's a sad story of the Elder Titan constantly dying. He has 15 deaths. It's not good to have. Alright, well, Karn, even though he has 5k gold, decided more important just to keep the gem on him for now. Especially against the kind of counter the initiation abilities from Moonlight Shadow, the ultimate of Morano. Well, it's becoming a very tense situation. The high ground advantage is good for the Dire side. Are we going to see a commitment? Oh, nice stun from the Solar. Hits 3 of the heroes, forcing 2 BKBs. He's going to BKB as well. They're trying to do damage to the Timber Saw. He's low on health, but so is Karn. Karn ends up falling, loses the gem, instant buyback. And we're seeing a pretty easy kill on the Nyx Assassin. Alchemist with that insane regeneration. He survives for as long as possible, but eventually he's gonna die. Alright, Solar decided to blink in. He's getting a few good stuns on the Dragonite. Returns a stun back. Ultimate from the CM picks off Saldar. This team fight, it looks like it was supposed to go more towards the Dire side. But Radiant, they're keeping the dream alive. They're low on health. Could be a mistake to stay around much longer, especially against an Invoker. Ooh, nice stun from the DK. Allowing them to kill the Invoker. He's going to buy back. Venomancer placing down some wards. Blink in from the Elder Titan. Manages to get a few right clicks and kills off the DK. CM looks to be next. Not enough time to blink away. Okay. Well, despite Karn dying twice and a few buybacks, Morana's the only one to survive. Oh wow, though. Throughout this entire fight, the tier 3 tower in the top lane died. The ranged racks also fell. So that was actually a pretty solid trade for the Radiant. This is just a game of no end. It's almost hit the hour-long mark. Look at how close these teams are as far as gold goes. EXP is certainly favoring the Dire, but with a lot of heroes approaching level 25, There's only a few that haven't really hit that point. Roshan's back in town. He's got his cheese. He's got his Aegis. Let's see how long he lasts. Looks like the Dire are going to wait for Karn. Certainly a smart choice. Okay, they're deciding to move in on the Roshan. And I don't think we'll see a huge contestant here. They may try to do a little bit of fake move in. It's just not enough though. And he falls. There's an Aegis, there's a cheese up for grabs. Who's gonna get it though? Well, they're waiting on Karn, I think. Nope, Elder Titan gets it this time. And there's cheese available. Karn going to grab that instead of the gem. Andrew being pretty aggressive per the usual. Ooh, nice sheep into stun. That's going to remove the next threat. And this could actually end up being the last big team fight of the game. This is really good for the Dire side. DK, despite the BKB and Lincoln's, he just doesn't have enough survivability. He falls. Timbersaw and Miranda looking like they will be next. Zelda really, really low on health. Getting saved and survived thanks to a lot of regeneration. Blinken finishing off the Timbersaw. Buyback arrow! It's Karn. He's got enough regeneration to be fine though. And it looks like this is just going to be a move in for the throne. Andrew deciding to pop the Aegis. A stun into jump. Yeah, that's going to be it. This game certainly has gone towards the Dire side. GG is even called by Ranto. Very well played by the Dire. Also, Radiant did great early game, but as time went on, the team composition and overall late game proved to be superior for the Radiant side. My name is Whiplash. It's been a pleasure casting this game for you. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter @YeahWhiplash.